Sanke.
I'm a living example of you get punched in the face and get back up, because I'm the modern day Aztec warrior. Welcome back to MMA Underground, your favorite part of Wednesday. I'm one half the dynamic duo known as Buddy V with the one and only
Sam K. And shit, man, we got two phenomenal guests in the building as always. In the house tonight, we have a legend from the OG yard. You've seen her over the years, but she had a recent bout. And we have the one, the only Fierce Honey on the show today.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
And all the way from Streetbeefs Scrapyard. You've seen this man. He lives up to his name. We have the one, the only Menace in the building.
Hey, thanks for having me, boys. I'm glad to be here. It's
Yeah,
dope
yeah.
to see a legend also, by the way. Huge fan.
Heck yeah. So it's gonna be fun, and we have lots of stuff to get into with your fights, your history, and you guys have this crazy stuff to talk about. But first things first, we have to talk about some future events, because coming up, Miss Hannah Ross over here, Miss Fierce Honey, has a bout coming up that is gonna be not just one for the books, but one that I think had to get rescheduled as well.
Yes, it did. You're right.
All right. So we want to let people know what day that is and how it's going to be. Full MMA?
Yep, it's full MMA. Luckily for this organization, it's under Rocket Combat, and so basically you can do elbows, knees, all the things that a lot of places don't allow you to do. So yeah, it's full MMA. It's really exciting. It's on the 27th, so it's on a Friday. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to get in there and use all my weapons for this one.
Nice. So we're going to be seeing some elbows and knees. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep, I've been working it. I always wanted to use my elbows and my knee pads, but a lot of the times I don't use them in training because it's dangerous. But yeah, I have some teammates that were down to use it this fight camp just to get me used to it since I haven't really been able to use them in the past. So it's exciting.
Awesome.
Now, I was going to say, we're excited because also the Menace, you're over here. And I was originally going to ask you if you're at the River's Edge still, and I see that you're still there with that in the background. How long have you been with them training?
5 years now. Yeah. When I found him, I was on a weight loss journey. I was like 375 pounds. I was just working out by myself, working at the local grocery store. Man came through the checkout line and he was like telling me about his gym that he was starting up. I literally started with this man when he was in his backyard with a heavy bag, and I'm in this big studio right now, mats everywhere. We got big ass classes, it's awesome. It's great to be here from day one, see it grow, and then also be one of the few that train here that go and fight at Streetbeefs. Because there's only a few of us out of all of us that train, so. But it's cool. It's a good time, and I've learned so much, and it's just amazing environment most of the time. Sometimes we got our outliers, but it's all right.
Heck yeah. Was that sound okay?
No, go ahead, bud.
Oh, no, I was just going to make a silly joke, and I was just,
No, I was gonna say, we had. I heard you mention Nubby earlier, and it's funny because we had him on the show recently, and we've seen him do Muay Thai.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you kickbox. So, what is your style that your preference, I should say?
I should say I'm technically a Muay Thai because my fight with Terrifier is a Muay Thai fight, and then my fight with Johnny Tsunami is also a Muay Thai fight. So I've had 2 Muay Thais, 2 kickboxing. I just knew the kickboxing belt was open recently, so I was like, let's send it. Fuck it. I really missed the clinch in that fight. Oh God, I love me the clinch, dude. My knees are mean, and then like my escape out I really like to clinch, so I lean more towards the Muay Thai style. But also, I'm kick heavy as fuck. I just send them like right now. I'm still injured. Like I got like this little dent, squish spot. Should probably go see the doctor. But you know, like that's my weapon of choice, dude. I just send those legs, dude.
Yeah, you got like a little triangle in your shin. It goes down, just missing right there. You're like, that's where I hit every time. Sweet spot.
For real. After the Terrifier fight on my lead leg, my left leg, I still have like a small little dent on my shin, just a little push in. And we just like kicked legs at the same time as we both went for our leg kicks and just shin on shin collided. Two behemoths.
Too weak.
You sure?
Absolutely.
I wanted to cross back over to Fierce Honey. For those who don't know, Fierce Honey, OGR fighter, been with the yard for some time now. I was interested in knowing, how did you get started with Streetbeefs? How did you find out? What was that entry point like?
Mostly I connected with Esteban. I don't know if you all remember him. He was pretty involved there for a bit. He actually went to high school with me, so I saw a lot of that like online. Yeah, so we went to high school, we were friends, and you know, I was always into fighting. I was always like in the streets fighting, you know, doing crazy stuff. And I saw him like, damn, like that's something I might want to try. And so I reached out to him like, hey, like I kind of want to try it out. Do you mind like if I step in the cage? Like, how do I do this? And so we set it up, and that's when I showed up to the yard and had my first fight, and I like fell in love with fighting and started training from there.
And who was your first fight? And do you know what year was that?
It was like 5 years ago. I don't know the exact year. I do know it was the Lioness though.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, her name was a Lioness. She was a taller fighter, longer. Yeah, I had no experience at this point. It was really just a moment of like, okay, do I like this? Do I like getting hit in the face? Can I deal with it? Like, let's see what it's all about. And, you know, once I won that fight, I was like, this is the best feeling ever. Like, I want to keep doing this, see where it takes me. And so I stuck with it. It was great.
That's the right choice. I mean, to see the evolution of your growth with the fights throughout the years, both in street beefs, out street beefs. I mean, I definitely feel like you're someone I wouldn't want to fuck with myself. You know, I'd be like, hey, let me cross the street. Oh, let me hold my wallet and don't take it from me.
Yeah, I
Oh,
definitely like to hold myself to that because, like, obviously I have a daughter too. I'm like, I don't really want anyone to wanna fuck with me, to be honest. I like that feeling where I can protect my child.
Okay.
absolutely. And I was gonna say, with the years that you spent doing it and developing, do you ever go back and kind of see some of your first fights and like how far you've come to the journey now? Or
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I do look back on them. Sometimes they're a little hard to watch because I really did not know what I was doing. But yeah, I mean, it gives me confidence that hey, I've grown so much, and now my opponents versus the ones I used to fight, the look of them now is so much more intense, which means obviously I'm much better as well. So it's cool to see.
Oh yeah.
And just to touch on what you just said, I've seen your fights from the start to finish, at least with Street Beefs. I've seen a few outside of Street Beefs, but I've definitely seen the level up. I've seen, uh, the woman who just showed up versus the fighter,
Yeah.
and you actually do see it in your opponent. You just had a major rematch this past week with someone that you fought early in your Street Beefs career. And that was a tough fight. I would say your toughest fight. Uh,
Hmm.
we didn't get the dub in that, but what I saw directly in your opponent in this rematch was uh, it almost seemed like they knew they were dealing with another fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's her.
the confidence in the first fight was definitely not there. Um, and it was a testament to who you are. A new fighter.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely felt that energy too. Weird enough, you know, because I've always I've learned to train myself no matter what fight I'm going into, whether I know everything about this person, I've studied them. Like, I'm going to go in there thinking they're a monster because that's just what I do. And when I faced her off in that moment, I like the face off because I feel like I can get some vibes from this person. And I felt like she was timid almost. Like I felt like she was nervous.
Mm.
And so in that moment it gave me a little bit of confidence, like, okay, like I am who I am now. I'm not who I was then. And it takes a shift in your head, like to realize, like, because I got my ass kicked that last fight, that was the memory. So it's a mind shift for sure. And it was great, going against her and her being the timid one at this point.
Yeah. And for the audience, we're referring to the fighter Deuce. Yeah, great first fight, great second fight.
Gotta watch them both because it's the dynamic definitely makes it so fun to watch. And you're like, hold on a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah, the first fight
And
was crazy. My head was pounding. I'll never describe it differently other than I went home with a horrible headache, laid on the couch. I was like, I'm not coming back from this. Like, this is terrible. So yeah, it was crazy.
yeah, little, another little time doesn't heal, right? Yeah.
True.
um, well, it's crazy that you came off and you really got the dub off this fight, and the first one there was the unfortunate loss. But that's crazy. I want to bring that over to the Menace because you had a fight where you had a loss, but it's a very controversial loss. It's online, people in the crowd. It was a title fight, and the best thing is there was respect between you two fighters. I know there's no animosity between you guys. But that was against Ginger Ninja. Do I let
Right,
people know
yeah.
about that fight? 'Cause that was
Ooh, that was a banger, dude. That was a banger, man. I had a lot of fun with that fight, and like we were friends like before. We met back in September, and then fast forward to April, we're fighting now. But like the problem there was is like he stepped in last second, like legitimately last second, because the person I was supposed to fight stepped out like 3-4 days before the fight, and so it was like scrambled to get a fighter. There was talks of me fighting like a 205er, and I'm up in like the 280s, 290s. I'm like, that's kind of crazy, but I mean, I guess whoever you want me to fight, I'll fight, whatever. But then Jin just stepped in. Congrats on him, and then he got the dub. I mean, yeah, it's controversial, however, but don't ever let it go to the judges. Uncle Dana says it clears the day. Should you got to go for the finish sometimes, especially when it's that close. But all respect to the end of the day to Jinja. Champ has a name.
And I see Fire Chicken watching, so I got to say this real quick
Mm.
because I want to watch that fight, but I can't find you because the
No?
titles that Fire Chicken
Yeah.
selects for his fights.
Yeah, I have a struggle finding my own fights because they're always like it's like
I love you, Fire Chicken.
controversial heavyweight fight or like the Johnny Tsunami brings the rain or like no disrespect, Steve. I fucking love everything you do. Respect, my man.
We love you.
But it
We
is
love you,
kind of
bro.
difficult to find some of the fights for sure.
So what was the Ginger title? What was the
I
title
think
for
it's
that?
a controversial heavyweight kickboxing title fight, or so. It maybe not be that long, but it's somewhere in that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll find it.
Yeah,
Heck
it's a
yeah.
banger, dude. Honestly, I haven't watched it because I'm just like so disappointed in myself because I was so confident. It kind of gives me the ick. Like I'm just like I haven't given myself the time to watch it yet. But all the friends and homies love to give me the love for it and really think I did well. So that's nice that other people think I did well. That's all I want to do. Like I told Steve that day too. It's like I like Streetbeefs because there's that raw, like coming straight off the streets, don't know how to throw a punch type shit. But then you got people like Nubby and I, where we're trying to have like those technical bouts, like have, like some. We want to take this somewhere. We're not trying to just step in the ring once and be gone. You know what I mean? So it's cool to be able to have those higher level fights there, in my opinion.
Heck yeah. And that's actually a great segue because I was gonna ask Miss Hannah Ross that like I'll try to think of how to word this. Yes, okay. So because with the organization Street Beefs, it's a great thing. But what I was curious is fighting outside of Street Beefs and fighting in different organizations and different promotions. Sometimes, some people have a weird taste or in their mouth about Street Beefs, this and that. I mean, how do you feel that the community is for Street Beefs? Like it's a little bit more friendly than some of the other promotions or
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's different for sure. Like it was weird for me because I haven't been to a Street Beefs event in so long at this point, for this recent fight against Deuce. And so, with the amateur realm, you enter and you're like on a backstage, like you don't really talk to many people. It's more quiet per se, and yeah, I would say it's more friendly at Street Beefs. You get there, you're welcome, you talk to so many different people, characters, you make friends. It definitely is a whole different vibe because it's outside, it's in a backyard per se, and it's a big difference. But I like the difference. I feel like it's more raw feeling. Like you have to make one with the outside, with nature. Like, okay, I'm about to fight in the dirt, in the grass,
In
It's a
the rain.
different than canvas. Like it's totally different.
I wanted to know
Definitely.
how hot was it that day you rematched Deuce, and do you feel the weather played a role in that fight?
Honestly, I'm a sun baby, so I say for me, it was amazing. I was loving every second of it. For me, it played a role because that brings me into like a different realm when it's hot. I'm sweating. I'm feeling more in it. I was actually worried in the beginning of the day when it was raining. I'm like, not another rainy day. This fight can't be another rainy fight because that was how the first one went. I was like, no. So it was like in the 80s, and yeah, it was hot. I remember warming up. The sun was beating down. I was like, dang, it's a hot day, but it was beautiful. I loved it.
What about for her? Do you feel like maybe she was affected by it negatively or no?
Maybe so. I don't know. I don't really know like her opinion towards that. I do know that it might affect a lot of people because when it's that hot, it can make you either more tired, it can make you a little bit dizzy, you're sweating, it's beating down on you. Some people it can definitely affect negatively. So, I can't really speak for her, but it could have not gone the best for her. I know it was super hot.
Ryan, you stood.
Oh, silent but then. Well, I was gonna ask the both of you because I'm kind of curious. Having leveled up and having grown and trained over the course of these years, how would you describe your mentality now when you step into that cage and you prepare? Because we have a lot of newer fighters and they kind of are figuring that out. And sometimes we've heard some things where they're kind of adjusting. But I'm curious to people who both have a leg in the game, how you do that or what it is.
Yeah, so for me, personally, my first few fights was just like nerve city. I would like tunnel vision, can't remember any of it. But by that third fight, that's when the tide kind of shift, and I like the training was kind of there. I could remember what to rely on. Muscle memory was more effective. I wasn't tunnel visioning in and out. I could hear my corner better. So I feel like for me personally, just the more I train and the more I'm actually actively in the cage, the better I can conquer those feelings. Because yeah, I don't know, getting in the cage the first few times, still even now, it's a timid feeling. Like a lot of people do talk about it, but a lot of people don't talk about it. But me and my camp have found a way to kind of rally around the troops and like make sure we're all good. We just had a new fighter fight last April, and he like what started the day like I don't feel nervous at all. Like I feel good. I feel good. Closer to the fight, he's like like shivering, like nervous, and it's just like try to rally the troops, try to give them some techniques, breathings, just sit and talk, kind of get the mind off of it. That's kind of like the only thing I've seen me and our camp kind of figure out the timid of stepping in the cage.
Yeah, I'll definitely capitalize on what you said about like hearing your coaches better. I think that's one of the most important things for newer fighters versus ones who've done it.
Yeah.
Um, I know for me that was something that like, hey, you hear them, but you're not doing what they say type of
Yeah.
thing. So
Hmm.
for me, it was like I hear my coaches all day long. Like sometimes they ask me, they're like, is something wrong with you and you're not hearing us? But I hear them. It's sometimes I just don't do what they say because maybe I feel like I shouldn't. So it's like you still learn along the way,
Yeah.
but with being in the game, I do feel nervous too. Like it's not like I'm invincible and I'm feeling that. I know what I'm capable of, but the nerves are always there. I've just learned to trust those nerves. Whereas I'm like, okay, these are actually good for me. Like
Right.
they're
Yeah.
gonna protect me. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at now. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too. That's like when I really feel it in my chest, like like I'm still at work and it's building up. It's fight week. It's building up, and then like that flutter in the chest, and I'm like, dude, you worked for this. You put the time in for this. Like,
Yeah.
so you rely on what you know and what you've trained, and all you can do is try your best and do what you've done. And that's
Exactly.
huge. I feel like just really trusting in yourself and your team really takes you a little bit farther.
For sure.
I love that. I love that. It really helps to have a strong mental in this game because, we're going to get hit with everything inside the ring and outside the ring.
Right. Yeah.
I wanted to segue back over to Honey. How does one, after the first fight with Deuce, how does one get back up and say, we're going to get back in there and continue? Some people never find, that moment.
I'd say for me personally, it's based off what I went through as a person, like stemming from childhood to where I'm at now. But really the things I went through, I thought of those things. I'm like, hey, I got through that. I can get through this. Is this something I really want to do? Like, is this something that would make me happy? And I just found that in me, that desire to continue, that will of, okay, yeah, she may have hurt me here, but me getting back up is gonna help me more than laying back down. You know what I mean? I feel like if I would have stayed down, that would have kind of capitalized on me as a person, and I'm just not gonna stand for that. I'm not gonna let someone beat my ass and then I stay down. I'm like, I'm gonna get back up. So it's really just another mindset thing of what can you take? Are you gonna allow that? And I'm just a stronger person. So I got back up, kept working at it, and knew that one day I would come out the better fighter.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you sure did. That's for dang sure. I felt like there's a couple of those overhands when you could have learned like those two where you slipped a little bit and you had it right there. I was like, ooh, she put a little more umph on that. And then, we got that 10-second. And then I see you go bam, 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 crack. Oh, I'm like, oh, days. Bam, 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 ding, days. So I was like, ding.
Yeah, definitely. I left people wanting more, that's for sure. I think even myself, like, I definitely wanted more in that
Me
fight.
too. Me
Sure.
too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what? Being selfish as a fan, we wanted more volume. But I think just seeing you walk her down, you know what I mean? That alone is that's kind of the volume right there. You know what I mean? So that was really that was something to see.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was different for me. I'll say one thing with that is that I don't really box anymore. Obviously, with MMA, you box all the time, but it's different when you're adding in kicks and
Oh, yeah.
takedowns and you're blitzing. Like it's just so different. Whereas like it was hard for me not to kick her. Let's just say like it was different. So holding that back and instilling, hey, you're a boxer. You're a boxer in this moment. It was weird. But yeah, I definitely felt the walking down. I really liked that dominant moment of I was continuing, I was controlling that fight. Like she went where I wanted her to go, and that was definitely cool.
I also liked what you said about like how you had to tell yourself, hey, this is boxing. That's kind of about like what we were just saying. Like even
Yeah.
in the trenches, you're like, yo, hey, this is boxing. Let's get to it. Let's get to work. And I love that. I love like when you can catch that in the heat of the moment. That's something I'm still kind of working on, but hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great when like I just feel like John Jones has this, but like when you can still talk to yourself, you still are working through your mental in a fight, and that's
Mm-hmm.
where you really start to gain all the access to, your weapons because you're like, "Hey, this is what you're doing." Like you talk to yourself. It's important.
Yeah, yeah. I had a little bit of that yesterday. Like I got hit with a hard overhand, and I was like, dude, throw the jab, but this needs to come right back, or you need to be rolling off the line. Like you can't just be caught slipping. So like I just need to apply that into my fights now. I still struggle when it comes into the fights with that, but I love seeing like how that can happen just like overnight almost. Like just like that next fight, it's just there all of a sudden.
Yeah, true. It's all about the training and the
Mm-hmm.
preparation. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, I really believe, like they say, when you go into that cage, you really do fall to the level of your training. And there's a lot of times I've seen some of the people where it looks like I'm like, oh, they might be putting the work in. You go in, you're like, oh man. And then, yeah, I've seen some guys where I'm just like, let's see what they got. And all of a sudden they're out there doing like spinning back kicks and stuff. I'm like, hold on a minute. What? So let me get your autograph before you leave.
I feel like it's always the ones you wouldn't think would do that as well. It's like the one that you're like, oh, this guy doesn't know. And then he's like, oh, shoot. All right. This guy knows what's up. All right. Cool.
Heck yeah.
Silent killers.
Yeah, exactly. Sleepers. 100%. Yeah.
And it's crazy because we have these fights and Fierce Honey, you have a fight coming up. We brought that up earlier, but I saw Streetbeefs West Coast ask if you had 3 names that maybe you might have on a list you would ever want to fight again.
Like for street beefs, I'm assuming.
Yeah, let's keep it Street Beefs. That way, all your opponents out
Um,
there don't get too scared yet.
I mean, Madam Satan, I definitely would like to run that back. That would be pretty dope. I know she's been training. I've been seeing her here and there post things. That would be dope to run back. Deuce MMA would be dope to run back. I don't really have any specific names I've thought of. Those are 2 that would be cool to do again. But usually I like wait for people to reach out. Like I actually had someone reach out to me today and ask me if I could do MMA with them. And then I just go from there and run it by my coach as we see if it works. And so there's really no one in mind. I don't watch that many fights anymore, unfortunately. But I'm willing to get in there with whoever. Like if they have the credentials to face me, usually I don't mind a little challenge or whatever. A fight's a fight.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, straight
I
killer.
was curious to find out at what point did you get in a gym and get a coach and really start increasing that training?
Well, the reason I shouted out Deuce after our fight is because it really was after that fight. Like, I remember reaching out to my gym, Mastering MMA, before I fought her, and they didn't want to put me under their banner yet because they're like, "You accepted this fight with no training. We don't agree with it. We don't want to put you under our banner until after this fight because that means that like." Then you'll be trained under us, and that's when it'll make a difference. And so, fought her, lost, went to training. I started training consistently. I've been training consistently ever since that.
Oh, yeah.
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 I'd like to hear that. I'm excited to see some more of what your amateur is going to come out to be and possibly pro in the future.
For
But
sure. Yeah, I'm planning on that. I'm definitely wanting to go pro. I want to get paid to fight. I'm tired of fighting for free. Shit's not easy.
No.
sometime in
And
the
it's
next few years, you
expensive.
thinking?
Yeah, for sure. Next 2 years is timeline. Might be sooner than that. Yeah, I want to get in a few more fights, get back on the winning streak, fight for another belt. I've got 2 back here, but I want some more.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's go.
Yeah,
I'm almost getting hungry.
for sure.
Menace, do you have any amateur fights at the moment or not yet?
No, I'm only have 4 fights with Street Beefs, the Scrapyard right now. But my plan is after 25 is to, finally bite the bullet, pay for the physical, the eye exam, the blood work, get the amateur license. And then like I love the art I do, but it takes me 6 hours to get there, hotel, Airbnb, food, gas, all that jazz. So like I live really close to the capital of Idaho. So once I get that amateur license, they have like International Kickboxing Association over there, Muay Thai stuff. But those are like tournaments, which kind of make me nervous because every time I've said I'd fight a second fight in a day, I'm always like, get fucked. Nope, I'm over it. My body's always too sore. So I've got to get over that if I want to enter those tournaments. But I definitely, 2026 is the year for the amateur league for sure.
Nice. How did you find out and get involved with Scrapyard?
So I knew about OG since like '08, back in the like OOG days, like just on YouTube as a kid, like, oh my God, look at this backyard brawl shit. And then when I started training with my coach, he was like, yo, check this out. The Street Beef Scrapyard's 6 hours away from us. And you said you wanted to compete. They don't need you to have like all the other things as amateur license may want. So we're like, fuck it, let's send it. So we went. The environment was great, like everybody says. Fell in love with it. Had a tough first fight because my dumbass did some shit that I didn't know about. I was all like, on Facebook, I was all like, Solo, I think you and I'd be a great fight. Let's run it. And then they're like, that's not how this works. And then I fought Terrifier instead, which is fine. I totally get it. I learned my lesson. It humbled me. I love the yard, so I would never want to disrespect them or anything that they do. So it was a great fight. Like, for my first fight to fight a double champ, dude, not get knocked out. Like it was humbling to go to the distance with such a killer in the yard. And then I just kind of slowly started winning, and then I got the title shot, and the decision didn't go my way. But we'll just come back stronger. It's all we can do. And I got to
So
figure out my knockout power. That's something that, like, I cannot finish people. It seems like I can walk people down. I can get the ref to stop, but like I need to figure out why I'm not developing that power to just put people to sleep. Because I get those clean shots. Like Ginger Ninja, I straight kicked him in the face like 4 times, like one straight on the forehead. But like I don't know. There's something I'm not doing right that I'm trying to calculate and figure out. Maybe I just need to do some more weights. I don't know. But that's something that I've been noticing. I need to kind of figure out why I'm not able to actually get those finish shots.
For sure.
yeah, I was gonna say, we don't hear too often that a coach brings their fighter to Street Beef, so that's pretty cool to hear.
My
And then,
coach is a little bit different too. My coach is all like self-taught. Like he trained in the backyard growing up in Fresno, like
okay,
and he's good and he's developed some of us really clean. And like we got like my buddy Nasty, he's 2-0. Leif was 2-0. Now he's 2-1. I'm 2-2. Like we do all right for like having like it's just a unique situation. And he's grown like from backyard to now. We got our own studio on the main road. We're upstairs. Like it's a sweet little spot. So I feel like I have a little bit of a unique because I hear all the time about people being like they're kind of like your master MMA, kind of like some people like if you don't train under us, you will never ever be part of the gym. And then like also it's like I don't respect Street Beef, so if you fight there, you're not part of my gym, which I
right,
think is kind of whack because like we should all be a community. Let's just learn from each other. Mixed martial arts. Let's just like I have no problem and my coach has no problem like of going to different schools and then you learn stuff and then you bring it back to your home base and then we all learn together and it's like that's what this is about to me and our team is just constantly growing, constantly be better and pushing ourselves to the limit. Like who cares if it's Street Beefs or it's professional UFC one, you know what I mean? Like still takes guts to get in the cage and do all that shit. So I think it needs more respect.
For sure. I agree.
I mean, how many times do you see people that are the biggest critics and they come around and they can't even touch their toes or they can't even do
Yeah.
half the stuff. I'm like, wait, hold on a minute, something's not adding up here. My math ain't mathing.
Especially those keyboard warriors that have so much to say, but they never want to show up. They never want to step in. They're like,
Oh my
oh, that has
gosh.
nails sticking out of the pallets. I haven't seen one fucking nail in that cage yet, but all right.
uh,
Fierce Honey, have you ever accidentally looked at the comments on some of the fights? Because I don't like my comments were brutal. I remember I looked at
Dude.
mine and I think for a week I didn't step out my house. I was just like,
Well, for me, it's definitely different. Obviously I'm a female, so we got a lot of weirdos.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yes,
Oh.
I painfully look at the comments. It definitely I was actually just on my Snapchat talking about this, like just saying, I wish I could just grab them out of there, put them in the cage with me, and go to town. Like, let's see you come in here and how you would like it if I
Would
pounded your face in right quick. That's just kind of how I think about that. Is I just hate people that get on there and they say things when they have no idea what we went through, the preparation, and what it takes to get in there. They just don't know, and hopefully maybe someday they'll find out, but they probably don't have the guts to do it. So
Frankly, they couldn't even hang with our fight camps. Let's just be honest. They couldn't even
yeah,
make it through an 8-week fight camp, these guys.
I've definitely watched people go through like what we call fight gone bads at my gym. They might be newer at it. It's painful. Like it's hard to get through some of these things to get you to the fight, and I just
Yeah.
don't think a lot of people are capable of it, or at least ready for what we go through, and they want to act like they can do it.
Right. Especially in those dark hours when you're questioning it already, even as a fighter, because I know there's been moments in the sauna like, what the fuck am I doing right now? My
Oh, for
body
sure.
hurts. I haven't fucking ate anything in forever. I'm so hungry. I'm just hurting all day. I'm sweating in this sauna. But then you're like, then I always catch those thoughts and be like, these thoughts right here are why I'm doing it. Because those thoughts, if they win, I'm just no, I'm a keyboard warrior myself. So every time I hear those thoughts, I reassure myself like those thoughts are why we do this. Can't let those win.
Yeah, it shows you who you are.
Yeah.
That part.
It's like what they said. You're the real version of you is what you do when no one around is looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
most people in the world don't experience combat and they don't want to, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like we are training for just that, you know,
Yeah.
to willingly go into that. So we're different.
Absolutely. 100%.
Definitely different.
And I also love just like the people. Like I love meeting just like all of you guys. Like in general, it's just so nice seeing like a strong like think about like UFC back in like the first season of Tough, where it's crying men just saying I want to bang and stuff. And now it's like respectful people. They like like we all hold ourselves accountable to the shit we do outside the cage and stuff. Like I really love like where we are in the MMA world now.
Yeah.
Facts. I actually wanted to ask both of you. Let's start with Fierce Honey. Who are some of your influences? Some of your favorite fighters? Some of the people that you may be borrowing some tools from?
Well, I have one specific right now that I'm just super like, gosh, I just love watching her. I think that she's someone I strive to be like. She's is a lower weight class than me, but it's Natalia Silva. She's starting to come up in the ranks. She's quick, man. She's just her cardio is insane. Like she just goes, 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 and it's something that I would love to have. And so it really just comes with working at it, you know? Yes, yes. It's so like if you got cardio and you can go, you're already the winner. Like if you don't stop, you keep moving, keep them guessing. I just feel like that's just so dominant, and she has that. She beat Alexa Grasso. Now she's lined up to face Valentina. Like she's facing the tough of the tough, like the dogs out here, and she's just blows me away. So that's definitely someone I've got my eye on. I watch her fights when I'm running in the gym. Just like gives me motivation.
Nice. Shout out to my dog Marab. We over here talking about cardio. Marab with a dominant finish of O'Malley this past weekend.
Oh, dude, do we have to talk about that?
Oh, we have.
Yeah.
I know. I just had to throw that out there. You know what I mean? I just had to. You know, we were talking about cardio and
Yeah, I
you
mean, he
know
does have the best in the game, especially in
the
bantamweight.
best in the
Can't
game.
take that from him.
Best in the game. Shout out my boy. But
Yeah.
who are some of the fighters that you look up to, took influence from? Yeah, Menace.
Oh, sorry. So growing up back in the day, Forrest Griffin was like my guy. Like I grew up as a huge Forrest Griffin fan, and then Chuck Liddell and stuff because my dad was rooting for him. And then I fell out of like when I hit high school, I kind of stopped watching UFC. Didn't have like the money for the pay-per-views and all that. And then I got back into it, and I really fell in love with like Stipe because I was like I've always been a heavyweight, so I fell in love with Stipe. I've never really been DC or John Jones fans. That's just my personal opinion. The GOAT, in my opinion, is also GSP. I fucking love. He's a huge icon for me. Yeah, and then the new wave of guys, I freaking really look up to Tom Aspinall as a heavyweight. That dude's his cardio's on lock. He's a monster. He's quick. He's really who I inspire to be as a heavyweight.
Okay.
I remember one of the tough seasons when GSP was a coach, and he's like, "This guy's very different. He's very different." He's like, "They drink and he does it," and these guys are like, "What?" They're all ripped, and then the guy's just sitting there, and he's like throwing them, kneeing them, they're dropping to the ground, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!"
He literally
Yeah,
came
that was
there
crazy.
drunk, smoking cigarettes, and just tossed dudes around the whole class. Yeah, classic, bro.
Yeah, it's like now it's crazy because in the training, we talk about building up the things that people don't see in the dark moments, and a big part of it is recovery. And while we brought up before recovery after a fight, A real question is, how do you recover after an intense training when when you're going through the weeks and your body wants to break down? How do you keep going and recover?
Good question.
Great
Uh,
question.
Me personally, I fucking love ice baths or cold river. That helps my body recover more than anything. And then sometimes I try to use a sauna after, kind of like because the ice bath tightens you, and then the sauna kind of loosens you. So if you can do them together, they're freaking amazing. But I don't always have access to a sauna, so that doesn't always work. But even a cold shower, like my knees hurting after class, my ankles hurting. If you have like a detachable shower head, dude, turn your shower completely ice cold and just isolate that area for a while. That's something I really find out that helps. And then like heating pads, a lot of Advil and water. I want potassium because I'd be getting cramps during fight camp.
Right?
Dang. Yeah, I definitely utilize a sauna. I got lucky with a gym that's literally 2 seconds from my MMA gym. And so it's called Valley Fitness. And honestly, like, shout them out. I've been going to them since I started. I cut weight there. I do everything I need to do, lifting, running, all the things. And so the sauna, after every workout, I go to the sauna. I sit in there for about 30 minutes, and it was hard to get up to that 30 minutes. I used to not be able to do
Yeah.
that long, and now I sit in there longer. I feel like a stretch. Directly after, they have this like cold shower. I get in
Ooh.
there, do some breathing techniques, stand in it for a little bit, and usually, that helps any muscle cramps. Sometimes I'll get massages or cupping done depending on how bad I'm hurting. If I have something that I'm feeling like isn't going away, I'll go get deep tissue massage. So I definitely try to utilize different things.
I've
Oh,
never
I
been
gotta ask
cupped,
about
but the
cupping.
massage for real works. Sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
No, I'm asking about cupping because that's the one thing I've been a little too scared to try.
It's a different animal. I had never done it until like a couple months ago, and I wanted to try it because my brother, he was an athlete too, and he did it, and I was like, let me try it out, and I got it done, and it's crazy. I feel like as fighters, like they say, like they help you with what is it, like blood circulation, and the darker your spots is like the more you needed it, and weird enough, my spots were insanely dark. I was just shocked. She's like, "Yeah, you definitely needed it." I'm like, "It looks like it. Like I look like I got beat up." Like it just looked crazy, but it felt good. I felt really like loosened up in a weird way, like just able to breathe better, able to move better. It just felt like my body was doing what it needed to be doing. So definitely try it out. I think it either works for you or it doesn't.
Hell yeah.
Try it. It's that or acne puncture, and I don't think I'm gonna have that many needles in my back. So cupping it is.
Uh,
Yeah, do you want to be stabbed or do you want a little heat, right? Because isn't cupping like fire and it suctions into the cup a little bit? Not like fire, but like they like light you
Yeah,
in and then
yeah.
they set it on
I've
you.
never actually watched her do it. It's always usually in a dark room. So
Right.
that's what I see in videos, but I've never felt heat, to be
Oh,
honest.
word. Okay.
So a little weird, but I've never felt heat on my back. It just feels like my skin is being pulled.
So, yeah, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I've always wanted to try it. I'm in a little tiny town. Like, I think there's like 2 saunas here, but like they're expensive. It's like $1 a minute type shit.
damn.
Oh,
So,
no.
yeah, dude, it's crazy. So,
Yeah.
but I've always wanted to try cupping because like I've seen like great results athletes talking about like the benefits and like the blood flow and like what you were saying basically. So like one of these days I definitely got to go get my ass cupped.
Yeah, for sure. Try it out.
Nice. And
Hey,
with the
I got a question for Buddy. Did you ever do that what was that shit? That Beamer, who was the Beamer
oh
representative?
the red light electrolyte therapy
Yeah,
thing
did
that
you
they
ever do
have.
that?
I tried it one time. Yeah.
And
Um,
did that have any effect of what we're talking about right now?
a little bit. I felt like because I was after I ended up fighting Hitmonger, I took a lot of kicks to my ribs, and afterwards I started spasming like crazy, and it was just hard to
Mm.
breathe. And I felt like it definitely helped take some of the spasms away. But like as soon as I was done, I was like, oh okay, and kind of came back. So I was like, maybe it was one of those things where I don't know, you didn't quite sell me on it. Not trying to be mean or nothing, you know, it's cool, and I know it's worked for a few people, but for me, it didn't really work. I don't know.
They not sponsoring y'all no more, so
Yeah, no, it just not was. I don't think it really worked too much for me. Yeah.
that's dope. That's dope.
But
What you
oh,
about to say?
I was gonna say, since we're talking about, recovery and all that, how do you get there with injuries? And we got to know the worst injury, because I mean, we already heard the Menace is missing a chip from his leg. I mean, what the heck? What else could have gone wrong?
My worst injury is probably my right shoulder. I had two labrum surgeries in there. And like I went to physical therapy. I've had issues with it forever. But I stopped having issues with my shoulder once I started kickboxing and boxing and like strengthening it from just like all the shit we do in here. So honestly, I kind of give the sport like gratitude, because like I thought my shoulder was fucked forever. I've had two surgeries, physical therapy, all that. And I just struggled with it. And it's definitely not nearly as bad as it ever was now that I've done years of training.
Nice. Are y'all talking about like injuries in like fighting, like something that might have happened
Oh, yeah.
through
Shit.
fighting?
If you have something worse or something more crazy than that, yeah, whatever qualifies. It could be anything.
With fighting, personally, I don't know, like with my straight, it's like a knockout power hand. So obviously I try to mix it up and use it through fighting. I don't know if you can see it, but like it's pretty
Little
swollen.
race.
Looks kind of crazy compared to my other. It's just out there, and I injured it pretty bad. Had to go to the ER a couple years back. I threw it, hit someone right in their elbow. They blocked, and immediately I'm like, that's not good. Pulled off my glove, and it looked like a rhino horn off
Oh,
of my hand. I was like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and go, guys, to the ER. So I went, and they said that it wasn't broken or anything, but I had some like swelling around the bone, and so it ended up being like, good. Like it wasn't like I broke anything, but ever since, like it's just a swollen knuckle. Like it just looks crazy. So I mean, hey, I guess it helps in ways.
You know what to hit her with.
Yeah.
yeah. For real.
Yeah,
B.
sure.
I wanted to ask you both. What is the importance of keeping and maintaining a strong mental throughout not only the fight camp but the actual fight?
It's probably one of the most important parts of all of it, honestly, that mental, because you can fold real quick if you let those other thoughts in your brain take over. So I think if you're not mentally strong, I don't know if you can make it in here. You know what I mean? I think those are the guys that are usually like, all right, I'm done. I got hit in the mouth, no more. Like, so like mentally, you just gotta be so ready, tough. Also, tell yourself like you're gonna get hit. Like you gotta prepare yourself for these things that give you like the doubt.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think that mental game is super important. I know that over the past year, I had a little tough time there for a while with my mental. I remember I had my first TKO. Like I basically went out in a fight, got hit pretty hard, took the L, and yeah, I just remember taking a knee, and that's all I remembered, and it really sucked. It played a lot in my head. I was like that really happened to me, and I met with a therapist online, and she was specifically a fighting therapist, so I met with her a lot, and I've came back from that, but life in general outside of the fighting game, we all go through different things. Like no one really knows what we go through in life, and so I think that you really have to distinguish, hey, this is my life. Like it doesn't create who I am as a fighter. Like I can go in here and I can still be raw, like and like go to town on people. Like you just have to be ready, like you said. Like you just have to be ready for it and be able to take the shots and then give back. Like you can't give up. And so that played a huge part. And I think I utilize it against people, because if I see someone going like this and curling up, I'm knowing like, hey, I'm weakening them. Like I'm touching something in there. Let's see how long they can go. Like
Absolutely, yeah.
Well
Yeah, I
said.
totally agree.
And it's crazy because sometimes it's not even like you're weakening them physically. Like sometimes that's them folding like psychologically, mentally, emotionally,
Yeah.
you know, and then the KO comes, you know, or
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, that's when you find out if you have that like killer instinct in you. You start seeing it, and then you capitalize. And I feel like that's like super important as a fighter if you have that instinct because you see it, but are you willing to keep going to push them over that edge?
Yeah. Love that. I also love how, like, what you said, like, going and seeing a therapist is amazing because I've had to do that in my own life, you know, like, and there's the stigma with therapy too, which is lame,
here,
but like anything that can help mentally, I'm all for it because mental health we're declining in that in America. So whatever we can do to take care of our mental health and then also be better fighters by that, I'm fucking all here for it, dude. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was great, honestly. And it was even better that it was a fighting therapist. Like,
Right.
she
Yeah.
was all about the fighting, you know.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's things in my life that aren't about fighting I would love to talk about as well. But fighting specifically, there's just, something to it. You have to talk about things. And it's great. So I really enjoyed that. It's called In Your Corner. So I don't know. It's a
Okay.
nonprofit organization. Obviously, everybody out there, you should definitely look
Um,
into it. It's amazing.
yeah, absolutely. In your corner.
In Your Corner. Yep.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna have to check that out. Hell yeah.
Yep.
I like that. I was gonna ask, have you guys ever seen the show The Cage on Netflix? It's like the MMA
Yes, the
show.
French one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Actually, I like it.
I really like
It's
it too.
killer. Hmm?
What?
I
I missed that.
was gonna
I
say
just said
that
I liked it.
with all the stuff you guys are talking about, that's actually one of the things I was surprised about with the show. The show was killer, but I really like how after one of his losses, it shows the journey of what
Yeah.
happens mentally, what he goes through. And there were certain things where I was like, "Holy shit!" I've tried talking about this with everyone in my family, and no one understands. None of my friends understand. But here on this show, they're making this point. Like, it is so great to see that it's represented, and everyone just thinks fighters are bird. Like, oh, I don't care. Oh, it's like, no, yeah, we're people. This affects us, and especially with the online presence, the social media, and the comments that people leave in all of our fights. I mean,
Right.
the
Yeah.
fact is, there's so much negativity. Even the most positive people in the world are gonna get knocked down sometimes. It's like,
hmm
fuck. So, yeah,
Yeah, dude. I couldn't agree more because like he couldn't even walk out to his next fight, and that like he was so broke from that knockout that he couldn't like was shocked or stuck with fear basically. It's just like frozen, and that's real. That happens. I haven't experienced it yet, but if I do, I know the first thing I'm doing is seeing a therapist. I'm not gonna fuck around with that at all. Like that's some real deep mental shit that if you don't take care of will affect you for the rest of your uh performance in the fighting or even in life. That goes with you forever until you take care of it.
Yep.
facts. And I think it's really great that both of you can, speak on that, so candidly. Because like you said, Menace, there is like a stigmatism. There's
hmm
there's this idea that it's just not cool, to get
Right.
healthy, to
Yeah.
know yourself better,
Right.
to be a better person. You know what I mean? And
hmm
truly, that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to understand. We're trying to grow. And sometimes it takes help. You know,
Yeah. Absolutely.
and there's no shame in taking that help, accepting that help. And moving on and becoming better.
Right. Yeah.
Um, we're able to look back and be like, shit was the past.
Yeah. For real. It's better to be fixed instead of being broken forever.
Yep.
I
Well
like that.
said.
Hell yeah.
Now, I kind of have to hear this story, okay? Because I know before the show we had talked about how Menace, you had to beat somebody up and have a beef fight at your gym.
I
Extra
did.
emphasis on the beef, you
Here's
know.
on the Yeah, yeah,
Well, you
dude.
got
Long story short, man, this guy, he was a training partner. I didn't go to a training session on a Saturday morning because the wife was like, "Hey, you've been training Monday through Friday. I'd like to see you for a little bit." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I totally get that." And I text the boys and I'm like, "Hey, I'm not gonna make it. It's gonna spend some time with family." Well, this dude goes and tells my two training partners about how I'm not gonna win the fight if I'm spending all my time with a piece of putang, I believe is the word he used, which was just a wild word to use. But then the next day, I call him out. This man legitimately cries to me, tells me how he's sorry. and he feels bad, and he's a Christian man and doesn't want to be known like that, and like how terrible he feels. Fast forward 2 months, he goes to my work, doesn't find me, comes to my kickboxing gym, and is looking at me with some crazy eyes, like I want to kill you type eyes, like some mean mugging type stuff, and tells me he doesn't like how I handled it and I was disrespectful. And I'm like, wait, what a minute. You're gonna cry to me, apologize, and then months later be mad at me because you don't like how I handled it. So as soon as he was like yelling and yapping at me, I just stood up and told him to put the gloves on. And we did what it was a 2 or 3 3-minute rounds, and he didn't even make it out of the second round before he just had quit. Blood all over my gloves, bruises all over his face. Just was. I remember I hit him hard, and he stumbled and kind of Bambi legged. And I just was like, "Look at you! You don't even want to do this." And he's like, "You're right. I don't want to do this." And it was just like totally beaten. And then he's trying to shake my hand to like settle it, which I kind of understand. But the thing is, I thought we settled this beat 2 months ago. Now you're showing up at my work and now my job, and then talking crazy. So at this point, I don't want to settle anything with you. I was just like, get the fuck out of here, leave, go away. And then this man hits me with, well, I'm going to go train and I'll be back and I'll whoop your fucking ass. And I'm like, all right, man, I'll see you when you come back then, because I'm fucking here.
Hey,
You're
so
leaving bloody and bruised.
for the 2 months in between, had you not had contact with this person?
He disappeared. We had the conversation. He talked. He cried. He told me how sorry he was.
Uh,
Completely gone. MIA. I even asked some friends. I was like, "Where is he? He just disappeared." Like I thought we settled things. I thought we were still on good terms now. You fucked up. I called you out. You apologized. We're good. And then all of a sudden, he's fired up, dude. Just fired up. And a lot of my friends and the people at the gym are like, "Dude, there's something not right with that guy." One of my gym partners was like, that was like death by a cop, like suicide by a cop. Like he came up here looking for a fight to get like hurt or something. It just felt weird and off and just random as hell. I just like came to class. I was like, yo, what's up, everybody? And then boom. I was like, all right, let's go. Because I'm not going to shy down no fight, especially when you're telling me I'm disrespectful after you said some disrespectful shit about my wife. Like, you're tripping, dog. What?
Yeah.
But it was a good tune-up too. Like felt good. Like he got a couple clean shots. I don't got any black eyes or anything, but he left bloody welts all over. You could see the purpling already. It was a bad day for him. He definitely fucked around and found out.
beat him like Batman, huh?
Yeah, I wish there was the pals and the pops and stuff there. After the fight too, I'm like sitting and I look up at my coach. I'm like, "Did you film that?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "I don't want him to have record of this." He's like, "I don't want him to be like," yeah. I was like, "Well, fuck, dude. I want to see that. I want to see how mad he got."
That's funny.
Yeah, it was
Here's
definitely
Honey, you
like
have
one of
any-
those moments that also has to like back to what we've been talking about most of this. Like, it tested me. I was shaking, like fired up, and then my gloves are on, and I'm bouncing in my corner, and I'm like, "Yo, you can't fight with this anger. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna go for the kill shot only. You're gonna make all these errors because you're just so fired up right now." So I turned around and just went, and just was like, and then ding ding, and then we just went out there, and I like let go of the anger and just wanted to rely on what I know and my technique. And like my leg's a little banged up still from the April fight, so I've been boxing like the last month and a half. So like I was just practicing new shit that I've been working on this guy because he came in wanting to be a human punching bag, so I worked some new shit on him. Fuck it.
That's what you get.
Yeah, for real. It's like that video when like the street guy rolls into this dude's gym and he's like challenges the head coach and the coach just beats the shit out of him. Like, you come to my gym and you challenge me? All right, time to learn. But, yeah, it's nonsense, complete nonsense.
Yeah, it never works out for the person challenging. Ooh. And Fierce Honey, have you ever had to whoop some ass for somebody on the beef style? So I know you said you fought in the streets growing up and stuff, but I don't know if after you started training you had to, whip out that old school.
No, I usually try to keep my composure. I haven't really had anybody come for me since I've started training, like in the street at least. I do remember when I wasn't training, I still could fight. Like I still, had it in me. Yeah, I've only been in fights before training, and that was with people that would like threaten me or say something, and I was like, "Excuse me, like, I mean, let's just handle this right here, right now." So yeah, I would just like show up to where they were at, and we would go at it, and that was always fun. But yeah, I don't do that anymore. I feel like I've grown. That was like the 18-year-old me just being crazy. I still got it in me, but I'm a little bit more composed. I don't fight anymore like that unless it's in the cage.
For real. It's smarter that way too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. As a parent, I'm like, I don't want to go to jail. I love my
Yeah.
daughter.
That's another thing about like how I was talking about my coach is unique because he's been like, if we got beef in the streets, come up here, sign the waiver, we'll put gloves on. Like we're not fighting in the road, and that's not what we're gonna do. So if we need
Yeah.
to, like yesterday, we'll settle it in here. This is the place to do it.
Yeah, I like that. I usually tell I'm sure all of you have dealt with this. I mean, it's common in fighters, but where people will be like, "Oh, I can take you," and like say all these stupid things. I'm like, "Okay, I train these days, and you can come in and sign the waiver. We'll get some sparring going."
Real, dude, for real. And you find out real quick they never show up. Ever.
No, they never do. I
They
even see
never
them at
show
the
up.
gym. I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to train after this. You gonna be there?" And they're like, "Oh, no."
I gotta take my
Okay.
grandma for a walk. Something stupid. It's
Yeah.
always something dumb.
Keyboard warriors, man.
Yep.
Well, I'm at every event
Yeah. You know where to find us. It's not that hard.
at all. I was curious to find out, how did you guys come up with your fight names?
Mine was actually pretty easy. My buddy Justice, a longtime high school friend, grew up forever. We were training together, and it was just a hard sparring day, and everybody was kind of beat up and bloody. And I had blood on my gloves, and I had blood from my nose, but everybody was bloody. And my buddy just looks up and he's like, "You're a fucking menace." And I was like, "That's it. That's it." Because my pick name for myself was Trash. I was gonna go with Berserker. Trash.
That's
So
so cool though.
Menace fit a lot better. I fucked with it a lot. So, and it was just like it was given. It was perfect time. I was just like, "Yep, that's it. Let's go for it."
Nice. That's a little bit more unique than mine. I didn't really think of it in any way. I just showed up to an event. They're like, "Hey, what's your fight name?" I'm like, "Fight name? I didn't know I had to have a fight name." So I sat there. I'm like, "All right." So I feel like I'm pretty fierce, like kind of scary in a way. And then I was like, "Okay," and I'm also kind of hot. Like, okay, it's a fierce honey. Let's go with it. Like, and I just went with it and stuck ever since. People thought I was crazy, laughed at me, but I feel like it goes places, so I
I
stuck
was
with
gonna
it.
say in the beginning too. I was like, when you were talking about your fights, I was like, "Fierce is such a perfect name for you too," because you see it in there, dude. Like you do. So like for how you were on the spot and picked that name, like I think you nailed it. Top tier. Couldn't have
Thank
been better.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, it's pretty cool how the names come about, you know?
Right, yeah, yeah. Especially like if it's like last second, like on the spot, like gotta think of something good, or if it's like gifted to you. Because
Yeah,
like
I
if you think
definitely
about
like
it for by yourself for a long time, you come up with stupid names like Berserker. So
it.
That
No,
was
that's
not
awesome.
bad, bro. That's not bad.
I know well,
It's
I'm
just
really
your
into Norse
menace that fits you.
mythology and I'm huge, so I was like, it makes sense. But it's there was also a guy out of Streetbeefs that like wore all Viking gear and just like screamed like really cringy into the camera, and I was like, dude, that fucking I don't want to be
Oh.
like I don't want to be considered part of that. So I was like, I got to think of something else.
I remember he had like a kilt too, like the fur kilt he was
Yeah,
fighting in, right?
yeah, yeah.
I
I
remember
can't
that fight.
remember his
Heck
name for the
yeah.
life of me, but I remember that scream that he was trying to like be like Viking and intimidating. It was just so cringy. And I was like, get me out of here.
The
Yeah,
characters we've seen.
Yeah.
tell the truth. Now I'm having a fun time, but I also know that a lot of us, we're all in different time zones. So, I know we can't always say super crazy long. So I know that we can't, but we're not gonna end the show quite yet. We're not gonna end the show quite yet. So I'm just having a fun time. We're gonna have to wrap it up a little bit. I don't know. Samke, you have some final questions for our guests this evening and some more fun times to talk about real quick?
Yeah, for me, final question for Fierce Honey. If you had one message to give to the fighters uh, or the youth who want to become fighters, what would you say?
I would say to the youth and people that want to become fighters, really rely on yourself in this game because when you think of other people, they don't matter. those aren't the people that get in the cage. Those aren't the people that wake up every morning and train and go to work, live our lives, but stick to it. You really got to rely on yourself and trust in your body and your capabilities and discipline yourself. It's so important. I feel like a lot of people forget about discipline. They think it's all about motivation. It's not. You got to discipline yourself. And the second you start doing that, you'll find things out about yourself that you didn't know. You're going to find out that you're strong enough to do whatever you want to do in this life. And whatever you want, you can get at it. You just have to push yourself, find the discipline, and stick to it. So, anyone that has a dream out there, they want to fight, they want to become a great fighter, you got to push yourself, man. It's all about you in this world. And if you want to get somewhere, you can do it. So, that's really what I want to tell people.
Absolutely. Yeah, discipline's what pushes you up that mountain, dude. Nothing else will do it other than discipline.
Definitely.
Right. Feet heavy, still put the shoes on.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Now, I was gonna ask both y'all because I had a final thing that I usually like to ask, and I haven't brought it up. But I'm curious with both of you having aspiring careers, and we know the lengths you're gonna take them to. People from Street Beefs have gone out to, Power Slap and lots of other organizations. But my personal favorite, one of them, is the BKFC. And
Yeah.
we brought up how we have the Jorge Masvidal UFC, we have the regular bare knuckle boxing BKFC. Is that something either of you would ever consider, or would you prepare to keep it with gloves? Because I know scars versus brain damage and
No, for me, that's a hard pass, dude. That's a hard pass for me. I'm not about that.
Uh,
That's just that raw. It's too raw for me, man.
I would say that I'm intrigued by it. I think I feel like it's a different type of animal. I have a friend that does it, and she actually lost a tooth from it. Like, she's toothless. She actually said it helped her avoid a dentist bill. So it was funny. Her name's Sydney Smith. She still fights with BKFC. She comes to the gym and trains, and she's a dog, man. Like, she will take the punches and give them back. She'll eat them. She'll come back at you. She's all about it, and I respect it. But for me, I think I like the gloves. I like my MMA gloves, boxing gloves. Like, I just don't think that that's something I want to put myself through personally. But all respect for the people that do, because man, is it a tough sport.
Bro, for real,
yeah,
for
like
me,
my
it's
teeth.
like my pinky hurts after punching somebody with 14-ounce gloves on. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
have hand pain just from boxing gloves. Like, I don't want to be the fighter that, like, recovering already kind of takes a long time. Now, if I have these two balloon hands that I have to take care of, I just respect to all those animals, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, dude, you're dogs, but it's just something I'm not willing to go down. Like, and Honey could probably contest, like, having children and stuff like that. It's not, for me, it's not ideal. I couldn't see myself ever going down that route.
Yep, it's definitely about if you're about it or you're not, and I'm just
Yeah,
not about that personally.
me either,
Really
dude.
not.
I can look big and
Nothing
scary,
wrong
but
with that.
no.
I'm like, excuse me, can you sign your kids out? You'll be like, hold on, I can't move my fingers.
Uh,
Yeah.
Oh, you want the kids to still recognize you when you go home, you know?
Shoot, for real, yeah. Sometimes those
Right?
guys leave lumpy, lip split, like they leave in bad shape, man.
And that's the winner.
Like,
Yeah.
when'd you lose? You're like, yeah, I won. Yeah. I'm like, what? Wait, you? All
Unless it
right.
was a knockout in 4 seconds, because that's pretty popular around there. It's like, you're looking terrible after that fight, man.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. But respect.
Yeah, yeah.
The one I truly don't get is slap, dude. I couldn't imagine just letting somebody hit me in my face without defending it. That's like that's where I'm get lost. Like, I'm just gonna let you fucking slap me in my face as hard as I can without defending it. No, I'm good on that one. CTE is a real thing, and that sounds like major CTE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My neck's not that thick.
Yeah,
I support the Street Beast fighters who do it,
yeah,
but
of
that's
course.
it.
Yeah,
That's
for
it.
real.
That's
Also,
it.
like, let's be honest, their belts are kind of ugly. I don't know what that's about. They need to fix their belt game.
I haven't really looked at the belts yet. I
Their
gotta
belts are
check them
funky
out.
looking. I don't know what they did there.
Check that out.
Dang.
But shit, man, it's been a phenomenal show. If you all want to give any shout outs, any plugins, now would be the time.
Go ahead, honey. You go first.
Okay, I want to shout out Streetbeefs, obviously Chris Wilmore, like that's where I started. He trained me up as well in boxing. So if it wasn't for his gym, like I wouldn't be a great boxer like I am, mastering MMA, trained me up on MMA, technique, everything, shout them out. And then my little brother, he just went into the Marines, and so he left actually last week on Monday, and man, I miss him. It's been hard training, thinking about him, but hey, I know he's doing his thing out there. He's an athlete just like me. He's got the mental, and so shout him out. I love you, man.
Hell yeah, and thank you for serving for us, to your brother at least. That's awesome. I respect the troops. That's amazing.
Thanks.
And I would love to shout out Street Beefs as well. Oh, I've never met Chris or like any of them, but God, I respect the shit out of them, and they gave us this amazing branches that we have. And just Street Beefs as a general, I love all of you. I love all of what you do. Keep it all up. And then for the team, River's Edge Kickboxing, absolutely huge shout out to them. And then my coach, Dylan Williams. And then my hardest training partners that keep me on the grind, that always keep me motivated, keep me on my diet. I want to shout out Leif Edison, Nubby, and Nick Blair, Nasty. Those are my boys. And I wouldn't be here without those guys. Those guys are the ones that really they keep me they're poking me with the prod saying, get up, go, you can do this. So without them, I wouldn't be nearly as far with this fight thing as I am now. So the biggest respect to all those guys.
Thank you guys so much. Like you saw with the ladder earlier, this show's been straight fire. I can't believe it. So warm, I had to turn the AC on.
I'm stoked to be part of such a good episode, honestly.
We appreciate y'all.
Thank you all so much.
Hey, thank you. You guys have a good night.
Yeah, you too. I gotta cook some food with the fam. Love y'all. Peace.
Thank you. Man, too much fun on the Wednesdays.
Great show, man, but it ain't over.
Not yet. Woo.
Refusing to allow limits to hold you back. When you hit that wall, you can either let it stop you or you can break through. Somke speaks from experience when he says cardio is key, cardio is key, cardio is key. And over here at Zuwell, we embody our motto, hard work, grit, and determination. Go get your cardio is key shirt today.
Buddy V's Fighters to Watch.
We're going to start with the Scrapyard, and we're going to start with Loco. This was fun because this fighter, he was composed. He had a good defense. I felt like he had a wrestling background, but this is the craziest part. We didn't get to see him really showcase a lot of skills. So because of that, I have to see you back, Loco. I need to see what you're made of. I got to see that grit. I got to see that dog. I think you got it in you. So let's see some more fights. Heck yeah, the Streetbeefs Scrapyard, Loco. I got to see you back. Now, from the West Coast, we have Amazon John. This was a fun fight. I saw his debut fight. He was strong, and I was impressed because he wasn't just muscles. He had skills to back them up. I know a lot of times you'll have vice versa, and he was definitely a huge he was a complete package. And with that, I feel like I don't know if he does have fights outside of Street Beefs, but if he doesn't, he's sure on the way to do them because holy crap, I got to see this man go. There was a war with his debut. I'm not going to say who won because you guys got to go check out the fight. But Amazon John, thank you for the fight that you gave, and I need to see some more. Man, that's what I'm talking about. But just saying, future rising star. From the OG yard, we have to go straight with Ray Charles, but it's R-A-E. This man can see. Yeah. Now, this is someone who was like the Energizer Bunny. You turn him on, he did not stop. But that's not what impressed me. What impressed me is the fact that he ended up taking a fight with a fighter about 35 to 40 pounds heavier than him. And that alone is take up guts and skill. What impressed me was the fact that he wasn't just going, because we see some of these lighter fighters throw punches, and they don't really affect these bigger people. He had oomph in so many of these punches that he was able to overwhelm his opponent. And you don't see that very often with such a weight difference as well. So I was just like, all right, Ray Charles, this is what you got? let me see some more. Holy shit. And it made it even better because at the end he said shout out to his music. So, you know, some of them comments, they had some awesome comments on that after this. So you got to check out Ray Charles Fights. I'm going to check out your music. And I'm going to need another fight coming out, man. Come on, let's get another one. But those are my 3 fighters to watch.
Some great picks, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely check out Ray Charles. That great fight name, and then he makes music too. That's pretty good.
All right, it's almost
Fire. Somcan the Fire 5. We're going to start it off at the OG Yard. You see it. The man himself. We have White Dragon versus Scarface in a boxing match. I believe this was their first match. They ended up having a rematch in MMA. But man, this was a fire match right here, man. I mean, some big shots being thrown. Overhand city, uppercut land. I mean, both of these guys, they showed and displayed a lot of heart. We seen a lot of head movement from one of the fighters, a lot of slips throughout this fight. Great sportsmanship. And as we say always, cardio is key. Cardio is key. Cardio is key. Street Beefs OG Yard, White Dragon versus Scarface firefight. Moving on to Street Beef Scrapyard. You see it. If you're trying to look this fight up, there's the title on the screen. This is between the Acolyte versus Mangubat. This was an MMA match, and it was quite unique because, as you see in the title, one of the fighters was a Hapkido practitioner. So it made for some interesting use of strikes. We saw a nice little mix. A very well-placed and well-managed pressure throughout this fight. This was a solid matchup. Respectful warriors, tough warriors. And, yeah, I want to see both these guys come back to the yard. Street Beef Scrapyard, the Acolyte versus Mangubat. Fire fight. All right, we're going to take things to the West Coast. You see it. Street Beef's West Coast. Bloody Raps versus Kiko in a boxing match. This was beautiful pacing. This had nice exchanges. We saw the level switching all throughout the fight. We saw some solid body work and a great way to lead off the jab. We've seen a lot of combinations being led off the jab, and we got a clean finish. Street Beef's West Coast, Bloody Raps versus Kiko firefight. Taking us back to the Scrapyard, you see it. You're trying to look this fight up. The title's on the screen there. This fight is between Freakzilla versus Ben in an MMA match. Again, the title's on the screen. This is Freakzilla versus Ben, MMA. These guys did not waste any time whatsoever. Every single round, they got straight to it, and they worked for the entirety of the rounds. Great grappling, big exchanges. Both of these guys were ready for a war. They both brought relentless pressure, and yeah, man, just made for a fire fight. Street Beef Scrapyard, Freakzilla versus Ben. And then the final firefight of the night, we're going back to the West Coast. You see it. We had both of these gentlemen on prior episodes. We have Trust Fund versus Bigfoot Brown in a boxing match. This was a great match right here. Something like the puncher versus the boxer as far as styles go. We got a lot of volume in this fight. Big shots from big boys all throughout this match right here. Aggressive combinations. A lot of pressure. A lot of punches being thrown with bad intentions. but both men displaying a lot of heart. And yeah, it just made for a beautiful war. Street Beefs West Coast, Trust Fund versus Bigfoot Brown, Somcan the Fire 5.
Fire!
Yeah.
That last one, ooh, I haven't peeped that one yet. That's gonna look
No?
one Trust Fund with Bigfoot Brown.
Yeah. That's the fight we were talking about when we had Trust Fund on, aka Bundy. Yeah, that fight was a firefight, man. It had a little commotion midway through, but we got through it. And more so than anything, the fighters remain respectful and very sportsmanlike.
Heck yeah, always good to hear.
Yeah.
But even though I'm having a fun time, this show went a little longer because it was so much fun. But do we have to start wrapping things up?
It's about that time, man. First and foremost, I want to thank our guests. Highly appreciate you and your time, Fierce Honey. Highly appreciate you and your time, Menace. Thank y'all. Everyone watching, like, subscribe, share the show. And while you're at it, look up our guests. They have several fights in the OG Yard, several fights in the Scrapyard. That's Fierce Honey and Menace. Shout out to the OG Yard. Shout out to Scrapyard. Shout out to West Coast. Shout out to Dirty South. We do this for y'all. Everyone watching us live, everyone watching us on playback, everyone in the comments, we appreciate y'all. Shout out to Buddy V. Shout out to Jay. We kill it every week. Shout out to Overtime Hustling Magazine. Shout out to Heart in the Fight. And shout out to zwellworld.com. You know where to go to get all your Zwell World merch. You can also get your Cardio is Key shirts at zwellworld.com. Yeah, man, I just want to say it was a great show. You want to catch me, same time, same place next week. And that's it for me.
Heck yeah. Zuwell. We have too much fun. And, you have the Instagram, Zwell_Buddy V, the Facebook, Zwell World. And, check out the posts on the Facebook and the stories and posts on the Instagram. Going crazy. There's a couple more things planned for this summer coming up, and it's going to be insane. I've been waiting for the sun to come out because, like they say, sun's out, guns out. So, yes. Yeah. Man. And you guys got to stay tuned for next week because there's going to be a giveaway. And this week I'm going to post in all the places what's going to be for the free giveaway. So, yeah, that way there's no wait and you're not going to see it. And that way means you have to tune in and know how to get it. So, hey, man, sound good. We kill it every single week. We couldn't think of a better duo. Yeah. Jay, you had those comments rolling. They were going. They were so smooth. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. And all of you. You know how we end this in Jay's famous words. So thank you for coming in. But one world, one love, deuces.